Hi peeps, it's Tiff back on the old squat box once again. Right, so this is a very, very drunken ex. No, it's not an expose. It's a very, very drunken critique of what do you call it, the vampire thing that's on TV. Got a Vampire Diaries. Vampire Diaries, you know. Ooh, what these vampires are running about the world, all doing stuff, you know. And it's like, you know, it's not just vampires trying to kid on that they're not vampires. It ends up vampires fighting each other for some, I don't know, some crazy idea that some other vampires are going to be better than the vampires that we have been led to believe are the good vampires, you know. There's no good vampires. The vampires make other vampires because they either feeding you and you die, or they feeding you and they say, oh, I like you because you've got some, I don't know, you got a beautiful nose, or you got a beautiful chin, or I love how your breasts juggle when you run when I chased you. That shit, you know. So now we've got vampires killing vampires. And then, why are the vampires killing vampires? Well, because there's some crazy, you know, far off in the distant future thing that's going to happen. It's going to kill all the vampires. Or something like that. So Vampire Diaries, right? It started off with True Blood. A lot of the people who've been True Blood are now in Vampire Diaries, and you know, I reckon I seen that. Oh, people feel, you know, True Blood. The vampires for True Blood are not, they're all in Vampire Diaries. But I don't understand why in Vampire Diaries the vampires are trying to kill each other, you know, and it's like, of the hate, and then you get magic coming, you get witches and magic, and it's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Was vampires not bad enough? Fucking all the bullshit from normal people to deal with. But the thing is, normal people are not dealing with it. They hide it all away. They make sure that normal people never find it. The vampires are there. They're trying to hide that there's witches. They try to hide there's magic going on. They're all trying to cover up on that bullshit, and it's like, what the fuck? If you were a witch with the power the witches have in this program, you know, this TV show, fuck you, we're just going, fuck you, man. Big gigantic globe around me, nobody can get through it, the people can't get through it, just, well, if you can block vampires for coming into your house, you could block anybody for coming into your house. And then you could just, well, you know, I don't know, go banks and then run back there and jump through your magical shield and say, fuck you. No, whatever police organisation is chasing you know, I'll get £1 million. But then how are you going to spend that £1 million? That would be stupid then to do it. But you know, you could use the globe of invincibility to stop werewolves and vampires that come and eating you, but you know, but I mean, is that a real threat to you? I mean, I'm sure they're not going to be hunting down everybody who invents something new. So why are the vampires chasing people? Why are the vampires chasing other vampires? And it's, well, I don't get it. And it's like, why when they're chasing a vampire, and it's like they catch somebody who knows something about where that vampire they're chasing went to, and then they end up chopping the head off of the guy and go, oh, we didn't find any information. And then you get the next scene where they're looking in the eyes of people and saying, oh, trust me, you know, you're going to tell me everything you know about everything. And they sit there going, I'm going to tell you everything I know about everything. And every question they ask is like, you know, to tell the truth is better than a truth serum. A vampire only needs to look into your eyes, blue, 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 blue. No, and you're going to tell them everything. So why do they chop people's seeds off? I don't get that. Especially the people who they really need to question, who've got all the answers. And it's like, why the bloody hell did you chop his seed off? Oh, well, I couldn't restrain myself. Fuck you. You restrained yourself in the last scene when you didn't fucking, chew through the neck of some, innocuous, girl, you know what I mean? But then in the next scene it's like, oh, I couldn't restrain myself. It's like, fuck you, you stupid vampire. You know what I mean? What, you haven't learned after being a vampire for, 1,000 years? You haven't learned not to bite the neck of and kill people who can give you information just by looking and going blue, 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 and tell me all your secrets, and it's like, and then they turn around and go, oh, blah, 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 but tell you secrets, and it's like, what the fuck is going on there, you know what I mean? Some people need to be murdered and killed because the vampires can't restrain themselves, and then other people, what it's all about, talking to them. Why don't they just turn them into a vampire? Why doesn't, whenever a vampire wants someone to tell them something, they just grab them by the neck and bite them, suck their blood, and then break the wrist and give them some blood, bring them back to the vampire and say, all that shit you knew, you're now a vampire, you're on the other side, tell us all that shit, because I mean, it's the most, if the British or the Americans, the Secret Service ever discovered vampires, that's what they would be using them for. They would stick them into embassies where they would bite and feed them people. Give me all your blood. Your blood is mine. You know what I mean? And then they would cut the wrists and feed them some blood, make them into vampires. Say, you're going to be working for us from now on. I mean, that's basically what being a vampire means. You can just totally just bite people, and make them vampires, and then they're going to, because you made them vampires, they're your servant, they're going to tell you everything they know about everything they've ever known, and then you're going to know everything, So why do they just go in there and kill the most important person in the room? It's just like, don't get me wrong, they often go into rooms and they kill all the other people, they kill the waitresses carrying the champagne, they carry all the other dignitaries who are just there to make up the plus one, but and then they kill the most important person in the room rather than just turn them into a vampire and then say, now you're a vampire, tell us everything you know. And I'm thinking, that doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. It's just fucking. True Blood was like funny. It was fun with some tits and there was some crazy shit going on. People zapping about. Vampire Diaries was like, I don't know, it was a 13-year-old sex a con, and 12 or 13-year-old sort of like problem solving, problematic crap, you know what I mean? If you're going to get information out of somebody, you don't have to jump in there and rip their throat out and kill them. You jump in there and you drain them with blood and then give them some of your blood, make them a vampire, and then they'll tell you everything. But apparently witches and gypsies and werewolves, they can resist the vampire. They can resist the vampire pressure to get to the truth. What the fuck? Is this going back to, I don't know, the army against the navy, against the fucking, of the Air Force. And it's like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? Who doesn't get a chance to question somebody? But even if you were working for the government and you got a chance to question someone who you thought had information and you were a vampire, you would bite them and drain their blood and then cut your wrist and give them some blood and then you would heal up, they would heal up, and then they're a vampire and they're going to suddenly be telling you everything they know because they're a vampire. Apparently that's what happens with vampires. If you're a vampire master and turn other people into being a vampire, then being a master vampire, they are your slaves and they will tell you anything. So why do they break people's necks and not turn them into vampires when they're trying to get information out of them? Because that's the whole point, that's the whole power of being a vampire. You bite them, they and then you give them some of your blood and then bang, they're a vampire, but they're your vampire. They are your specific vampire who anything you ask them they would tell you the truth. So why do vampires kill people when you could just turn them all into vampires and get them all to tell you everything they know? You know, I think vampire movies, they're just right down, totally right down. I would rather watch that stupid, you know, the people who, what do you call it? You know, the Egyptian mummies walking at 2 kilometres a year, catch up with people, run about, desperate to run about, looking for a way, and then the fucking, you know, the guy in the bandages catches them as soon as they stop and look around for a second. You know, it's like, why you would want to follow them across the world and kill, I don't know. Just like, why would vampires not just bite everybody and then turn into vampires and then get them to tell them everything they want, you know, rather than kill them. Oh my God, I made a mistake. After thousands of years of being a vampire, I just have never been able to restrain myself not to kill someone before I can turn them and get all the information that I need. You know, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Piss on you, vampire fucking movie.